I got a big announcement for everybody, all the podcast listeners. Today, officially, your boy is signed up for the LA Marathon. We're going to be making that debut March 17th. Let's get it. So, everybody
There you
out there,
go.
you in LA, come cheer for your boy. I'm going to be out there doing the thing, man. But I've been saying I was going to do it, but I'm officially signed up and I'm kind of scared.
Okay.
I'm kind of scared now, but I'm officially signed up. LA Marathon, March 17th. Your boy's going to be there in a running report singlet. So make sure y'all out there cheering for me. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
bro, that's how you do it. You feel me? A lot of people go into 2024 say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm
Yes,
gonna do
sir.
this, I'm gonna do that. This man stayed true to his resolutions coming in
And
January 9th, bro. Proud of you, bro. Come on. Come on.
yeah, bro. No, I'm excited. Shout out to my boy Cody Logan. He works for Goo. Uh, my boy hooked that up. I will say that he hooked that up. So
Hold
we
on,
in
what?
there, bro.
You got a deal?
Hey man, you know what I'm saying? A little ambassadorship, you know what I'm saying? Something
Oh,
like that.
okay.
A little bit of something, you know what I mean? Well, I'll be eating goose, along the way. Shout out to Goo.
That's exciting. So that's going to be definitely exciting to talk about on the podcast. Just going in March 17th. Let's get into it, bro. I'm Joshua Potts, Mr. Possible, always with the brother with the same mother, Aaron Potts, Super Hot Potts. And you're watching and listening to your favorite two black runners every single.
Two black, Tuesday. Yes, sir. We're back. Happy New Year. I don't know if it's too late to be saying that. But let's go. I'm ready. Last episode we did it for the real ones. Told y'all
The
what
real
we
ones.
did in 2024, and now 2024 we full send, and I'm excited for what we got slated for the next couple of weeks for y'all, man.
Nah, it's definitely going to be super duper exciting. We're going to talk about that a little bit more into the podcast, but let's just jump into it, man. We said last week we're going to get into some running news. We're actually going to get into some running news this week, Aaron. So I want to get into it before we get derailed and talk about a whole bunch of other things. So let's just talk about it. First up, I want to talk about these World Athletics rivalries. So World Athletics released on their Instagram. World Athletics Instagram been popping right now. I'm not even gonna cap. They doing some good stuff, and they've been doing some good stuff for a while. So I'm giving them their flowers. Shout out World Athletics. Y'all doing a good job. But they released some rivalries for 2024 that's really going on. And I want to know out of you, Aaron, which of these rivalries that they already released, that we already know that are rivalries, are you most interested in seeing into 2024? We got the heptathlon with Anna Hall, Katrina Johnson-Thompson, and Nafi Thiam. And then we got the men's 1500 with Jake Whiteman, the return of Jake Whiteman against the defending champion Josh Kerr and Jacob Ingebrigtsen. And then we got the men's 400-meter hurdles between Allison Dos Santos, Rai Benjamin, Karsten Warholm, and Kyron McMaster. Which one of these three rivalries are you most interested in 2024?
And wait, I gotta look this up. Wait, what about the Carson Warholm versus Mondo Duplantis in the 100?
Okay, that's just fake. That's just fake, man.
Okay, my bad. I was like, is that happening? Shoot, man. Let me see. They posted this. I'm really checking this up in real time. But really, shoot. So the 15 was Jake Whiteman. Dang, this four the hurdles, man. Carson Warholm, Rai Benjamin, Karan McMaster, and Allison Dos Santos, that's crazy. Like, that's best ever right there. That's world record. Last time, what did we see at the Olympics last time? We saw that 45. That was
So
crazy.
Superman.
And Rai Benjamin, he be biking 30 miles a week now. You know what I'm saying? I would say Carson. What the heck? I was going to say Carson Palmer. Carson Warholm, he out here running in the snow. I don't know if that makes you faster, but he's definitely crazy. And Dos Santos, you know him, that boy about 6'8".
That man tore his ACL last year and still came back. And finished I think he finished he didn't do as well in the final, but yeah,
He's
tore
like
his
the
ACL. He
He's the
back.
youngest out of all of them. And then Karan McMaster, he is that boy. He won at that final Diamond League, right?
Yeah, he won the Diamond League, got second place in Worlds, but it's been around for a minute. I think that one's the men's 400-meter hurdles is like super exciting. Like honestly, for me on this list, bro, the men's 1500 meter, if we're looking at these three, is the one I'm least interested in. Like, not even going to cap. Like, I'm most interested in the men's 400-meter hurdles. I think that's going to be super exciting. Like you said, these are arguably the four greatest 400-meter hurdlers of all time, the four
Right?
fastest, low key. And then these women, like, I just really want to, I think it's going to be really interesting to see, like, Anna Hall. She's such a competitor and, like, she wants gold so bad that she will only be satisfied with
Good
that.
point.
That it's going to be super interesting. Then the 2020, the men's 1500, I don't know what Jake Whiteman's gonna do. I got to see what he's gonna do first. You feel me? Like, I don't know how he's gonna factor into that. Jacob versus Josh Kerr is gonna be cool, but like, I don't know.
Hey, all I'm saying though, this is a for Jacob. This is summer 16 because he's looking for revenge.
Okay,
It's
bro, that was come on, bro. That was nah, bro.
looking for revenge. You know what I'm saying, bro? What you mean? Like this dude cannot get this double, bro. He's been trying to get this double for so long, and this is his time. This is his time to do it on the biggest stage in Paris. If he can get finally win the 15 and the 5K, because he can't not get that 15 for some reason, then he solidifies himself as the great. There's no denying it. There's all those Jacob fanboys who are in the comments and they're like, Jacob, he should have won World Athlete of the Year. No, he shouldn't. No, he shouldn't. He didn't do good enough yet. I'm sorry, he did great, but he couldn't. He wasn't ready for it. If he wins, I'm just saying it's undeniable if he goes back and wins the 15 and the 5K that I have to put him up there with Mo Farah. I gotta put him up there with start putting him up there with Holly and Bakaylee. Like you gotta start mentioning him in those names because he has like the records to go with it. So I think that one is still pretty interesting and has implications.
No, it's definitely interesting, but to me, not as interesting as the other two because I feel like there could be someone random that just comes in into the mix, like honestly, and just surprises. To be well, not even random, but just like, hold up, what if it's Cole Hawker? You feel me?
But
Like,
it's hard. We
yeah, what if
can't.
it's Yard? You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. So it definitely is interesting, but I think the heptathlon, I'm just putting some respect on it in this moment. Also in recent news, bro, the program that we are in, Magic Boost, just announced their 2024 class. Y'all can go on the City is Mag, bro. Check out all these new content creators and influencers and all these people that are coming into the Magic Boost class. It's great to see and everything. But I just want to bring this up real quick, Aaron, because it's wild to me to look back and be all like, bro, like we were in Magic Boost almost 3 years ago now. Like,
Yeah,
isn't
man.
that wild? That was 3 years ago. Like at this point, like this is the third class. Like it's time moves fast.
Definitely moves fast. Always shout out to Magic Boost. Shout out to our boy Key. Shout out to Liz. Shout out to Nancy. Shout out to COD. I saw him at TRE. I'm giving all these acronyms now, but Magic Boost does such a great job of putting these young people in the right positions to win. And this class looks tough. I'm not even gonna. This class is tough, bro.
That's what I'm
Serenity
saying.
on there, my boy Track Road News on there, Robert Hopper. I was looking through some of their Instagrams. Make sure y'all go check them out because these people, Magic Boost definitely helps elevate these people, but these people are already doing their thing. You know what I'm saying?
Established.
They
Mm.
already established doing their thing. So go follow them. Go follow them now, because some of them are already blown up. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, because they're doing great things. So I'm happy that to see them be a part of the family. I'm excited to see what all the things that they do this year. But I already started following all of them because I'm just excited to just see the content that they've been producing because they've been great for a while now.
Yeah, and it's amazing to me to see like the need for Magic Boost is still there. The need for more track and field media people are still coming. Like more people want to do like what we're doing and want to be in this spot and like aspire to that. It's amazing to see that like that keeps on evolving year after year after year. I was just working with someone this past weekend who applied to Magic Boost. He didn't get in. He's a photographer, great guy, Sam Sue, who are at the Armory. But he was
Oh, that's
like, bro, like,
fire. I saw that. I saw that
yeah,
post. Fire.
Sam's great, bro, but like he didn't get in. And it's all like it's crazy that like there's just such a need and like people there's a lot of people that are hungry. And even someone that made the list, I was working with her at the Armory this past weekend too. She was an announcer, Taylor. So shout out to her that I didn't even know she was applying. And I was like literally my first day meeting her. And now she's in Magic Boost. I'm like, oh shoot, that makes sense because she was nice. Like she was good at her job. So like it's amazing to see like there's still this need and like people want to make this sport better. And like that's dope. That's dope to see. You feel me?
Yeah. So she was announcing over the intercom, or she announcing like on like renter space.
She was announcing on the PA system. And but
Oh,
like
that's tight. That's
we did
tight.
like a little like preview of like the meet like beforehand and like I did it with her and that was really cool. So like and it's really cool to be honest too because you don't see a lot of young females like
Yeah. Yeah.
as
Yeah.
on the PA system. So that's really like dope to see. So like yeah, like yeah, she's still in college. So that's really awesome. That's really awesome. Some other news in track, bro, that we got to talk about because we didn't get to talk about it last week. You know, we love talking about the unreasonable speculation of Bowerman Track Club, just like any other track fan out there at this moment. Courtney Ferrix left Bowerman. Surprisingly, another one biting the dust. She said in an Instagram post. BTC is an incredibly special organization, and I'm so thankful to have had the opportunity to be a part of it. I don't think my 23-year-old self could have ever imagined the journey that this chapter would be. At this moment, she's training in Albuquerque, I believe, but she's been like training with the Puma Elite crew with like Taylor Warner and Fiona O'Keefe, headed by Amy Alistair Craig, I believe I'm saying that. I think I may be saying that wrong. But with the Puma Elite crew right now that's based in South Carolina, training with them. So Courtney Ferrix leads Bowerman. And like honestly, bro, I just feel like it's just a new phase of Bowerman now, bro. Like it doesn't seem like this was a bad breakup by any means anymore to me. It just seems like people just need a change. I don't know why it happened in the Olympic year, but they needed a change.
Yeah, like we said it earlier, bro, it happens in all levels of work and jobs. People come, people go. You know what I mean? Courtney, I feel like, she's a veteran in the game, and what I'm saying, sometimes you need a new system to give you like that revigored energy and refreshment. So hopefully going down there in South Carolina with Puma, you know, just elevates her, and we can see her, come bring us another medal. She's a
Yeah.
silver medalist at the Olympics, one of the best we've ever had. So I'm wishing her all the best. I'm happy that she was able to find something that was best for her. And yeah, Bowerman is just in a new phase. Things changes. Maybe we'll see some other groups rise to the top, or it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what comes from all these off-season changes. We got free agencies too, low key, and it's a lot different, but yeah, in a way.
Think Bowerman will ever be like to the same level of hype back in like Bowerman Babes era, 2020, 2021. Can they? I don't know if they'll ever reach that hype again. Like that was like there. I think that you know how Oregon Project hit that peak, you know, like back in like 2014, 2012. Like I feel like Bowerman has hit that peak, and not that people are still gonna run because I think Sean McGorty, Mo
Well,
Ahmed, Charles Hicks is probably gonna be like pretty good too. I think they still have amazing careers ahead of them. But like the peak of the entire team was that Bowerman Babes era, and like I don't know if they'll ever get to that popularity
make a
again.
good point, because you could say the same thing about there was a time where Oregon Track Club was, and it was under Jerry, I believe. When you think about Oregon Track Club, um, you had Chris Solinsky on the team. To have my
Nick,
boys, this is one of my favorite runners. So only real ones know J Mac, Jordan McNamara
yeah,
was
yeah,
on
Nick
the team.
Simmons,
Nick
Andrew
Simmons,
Weeding.
Did I say Hassan already? Hassan.
No,
I think Mo even was on that team first. Like I don't know, but oh, Matt Tegenkamp and stuff like that.
McFleet
I think he made, yeah, McFleet was probably on.
for
But yeah,
sure.
there definitely was like a period within that club where it was like they were at their like peak, peak, you know? And then sometimes when that happens, you know what happens, bro? A rebrand. You just it's the same candy in a different wrapper. And if they do that, they might give, I don't know, they could get back. It's all marketing. You gotta just get the right people, and it's Nike, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it really does develop. Before we get to the next part of the podcast, there is some sad news to really report on as we get closer to the Olympic trials for the marathon. It's crazy that we're only a month away to Orlando. Aaron's going to be down there, and then also our photographer and videographer John is going to be in the building as well in Orlando for the Olympic trials. But Emma Bates reported earlier this week that she is going to be out of the Olympic trials. She said in an Instagram post, actually like a video, saying that I have some good news and some bad news. I'm back to doing workouts with Team Boss. The bad news is I'm withdrawing from the trials. There's just not enough time to be where I need to be. Another 4 years to wait for another Olympic team. I'll be okay. It's sad to see. She was emotional in the video, but seems she's had some type of peace with it, knowing that she's gonna stick it out till 2028, and she's back to training really hard again. I'm pretty sure we'll see her in a world major at the end of this year. But it sucks to see Emma Bates not just being able to toe the line. You know what I mean?
No, definitely she's someone that everybody loves in the running world. She has just a good spirit. If you ever just see her walking around, just very kind energy. But when she's out there racing, she's a gamer and she's definitely somebody. I mean, she just ran at Chicago this year, right? And I can't remember what she ran, but she's been running really good on the roads over the past year. So it's disappointing that we won't be able to see her compete at the trials for a spot on that team. And you know, the sport is it's cutthroat, bro.
It's unforgiving. You know.
It's unforgiving. It's next woman or man up, and you know, I'm sure everybody is disappointed that they won't get to compete against her. But you know what I'm saying? That opens up another spot for someone else. But at the same time, nothing is guaranteed at the Olympic trials, man. We can't forget, especially in the marathon, as I'll soon find out. There's a lot that there's a lot that happens, you know, building up to training in that race. So not everyone's always coming to the line healthy, and then so many things can happen in the race. So shoot, we're not that far out from it, but it's always interesting watching the marathon trials. It never really feels like every single spot is as locked in as some of the track events are. So
No, yeah, I think so for sure. Anything can happen on that day, and it's gonna be a super exciting day. So many different storylines, and here on Two Black Runners, we're gonna provide you with one storyline for the next 4 weeks on one of Aaron's closest friends, Swarinjit Boyal. I said that right, Aaron?
Boyle, but we will ask him when he get on. We ask him when he get on. Like,
But Swarn is gonna come onto the podcast. He runs for the Hoka Aggies for the past like 5 or 6 years now. He's been with the Aggies, Aaron.
I think, yeah, about 5-ish or 6 years. He's coming from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, where he was on the cross country team there. But really wanted to highlight Swarn because Swarn, before we get him on here, and we will gas him up as much as possible. But what I really like about Swarn, he's one of the most positive and driven people that I've ever met in my life. This dude, when I was living, so me and Swarn, we lived together when I was competing on the Aggies as well, and basically a big runner's house. My guy is an engineer. My guy coaches coaches high school now too, and he out here running like 110 120 miles a week. He be getting up every day at 5:30, and he was like the only one at that time in our house that had a real job as an engineer, bro. And his motto was more money, he's like, money, miles, and mama. Those are the three things. Get that money, get those miles, and make sure your mama good. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm really stoked. He's also probably one of the only Indian runners out there, and I think that has a lot to do with like the culture and mindset he has. So he's a big reason why I'm at Hoka today. But I'm really excited for us to over these next couple of weeks really dive into his story, and there could be someone for you all to follow. I mean, he's a 216 guy. Like we said, you never know.
Oh,
You never know what could
jeez.
happen.
You
You
never
never
know.
know.
Hey, it may be humid.
Some of y'all may have seen the clip. There's a clip at regionals and like 20, dang, when was this? 20, I'm gonna guess 2015, when a Cal Poly student went out way far ahead of Edward Cheserek and a dog was chasing him. That was
Wait,
Swarm.
what?
We'll
Wait,
find that clip.
wait, we're gonna have to talk about that.
All right, I'm ready. Well, I'm gonna let him in.
Two legends, one screen. This doesn't get to happen every day. I
Three
love that.
legends, bro. Three legends.
That's right.
Bro,
Yeah. The
giving
day
them-
oneers.
they really don't know. They really
don't know, man. That's the best part.
Yeah, Swarm, we just want to go in and really like cover your story kind of like in 4 parts. What we're gonna do, we want to start off talking about like your journey in the 2020 and like how that was and going into your first Olympic trials. Then we want to talk about how you got into running, and then even dive in to about your build up into 2024. And then lastly, really want to learn a little bit more deeper about you and like what you're doing right now. But I'm excited to just get into it, dive more into like what's it about, bro. Like, yeah, you must be in Orlando, bro. That's supposed to be hype.
It's ready. 3 weeks, man. I'm ready for that humidity or whatever's gonna happen out there. Let's make it happen.
Bro, and I was telling Joshua, I was like, I want to start off here, man. 4 years ago, me and Soren were in Atlanta. This was his first Olympic trials. This was my first Olympic trials, but I wasn't there to race. I was there to do social media for our team, the Hoka Aggies at the time. And it's just crazy because I think back to that time. I also was going through the interview process here at Hoka. I heard that everyone was going to be there at Hoka. We had athletes going. I was like, this is perfect. I need to be there doing social media. I can meet the Hoka people while I do it. Soren was a big advocate for me to go, but we were both in very different places in our lives. I can't believe it's been 4 years.
I know, like, time flies.
Can you just reflect on where were you at that time in your life? What was going through your mind going into the Olympic trials 4 years ago?
That year, I remember that year being interesting because that's where I was developing when I remember having like these nerve issues in my right leg. So it was like after my first year of college, I joined the Aggies, everything was good, and then that second year I started having these just random like nerve issues with my legs. And I actually remember we did like PA championships, and I did all right, and I was like, okay, maybe because I was dealing with these nerve issues, I was like, maybe I'm not going to be able to do the marathon for CIM, which was like 2 or 3 weeks. I was going to use the PA championships, which is a local cross country races that they do locally here in Northern California, where all clubs get to come together and race and compete. It's a way to get out and just come on a weekend with all your teammates and just race. And I came and I was like, wow, I think I got like 10th or something like that. I was just disappointed because I was dealing with this issue. And I was like, you know what? I might not run CIM. And because I was building up training for it. And then after that race, I just felt dejected. And I remember coming that following week, our coach was like, I had 2 choices because I made the club cross train. Do I do the club cross workout the following week with 2 weeks to go, or do I do the marathon workout? And I was like, you know what? I trained so hard for this. Let me do this marathon workout. I was dealing with the nerve issue. I was like, I'm here. I got to at least give it a try. Went to CIM and was able to get my qualifier. And I was like, we're going to Atlanta, Aaron. We're going to ATL.
Yeah, no, That's crazy that you were like dealing. I remember when you were having those issues and you like just couldn't figure out what was wrong
Yep.
with it. But in that race that you had at CAM, that was your first marathon too, wasn't it?
Yep. It was my first marathon. Yep.
What clicked?
No.
Like what clicked in that race? Or did you just how did you feel
It,
2 miles
I
in? How
think
did you feel?
I remember just going into the race knowing, okay, my leg's just gonna probably feel like it's gonna go numb. Just control what you can control. It's gonna go numb. Don't try to zone it out. Just I know it's gonna feel weird because every step sometimes it would just feel weird, but then it would just sometimes go away.
Mhm.
And then I felt it after it was around mile eight. I was like, oh man, I gotta get through this. It started coming up again where it feels like it's going numb. I was like, I just be relaxed, don't panic, just stay with the group because there was a large group too, which was nice. Like it's what's awesome about CIM, they say it's really magical. For sure it is, because you just have a bunch of you miss a bottle, you got 10 people, like anybody need a bottle, you're just passing bottles, and it's just um you're just all together and just everybody's has that same goal usually, around that time of year. Everyone wants to get the qualifier. It's weird because you're racing, but it's also you're like kind of racing against time and this ultimate goal that you've been working towards. But after like mile 10, it went away. And then I just remember when I got to halfway, I was like, I'm going to the trials. I know they say in a marathon the race starts after 20, but I just had this utterly uber confidence that I was going to make it. And that just carried me through the whole race, and I negative split it. I think I went like 108, 108, like 30 the first half, and then like 107 high. So I negative split it.
So you're
And
feeling good halfway then.
yeah, I knew halfway. I was already starting to picture. I was like, all right, what kind of post do I want to put up? No, I'm about to
No.
make the trial. I'm not even lying with you. I was like, yeah, we're doing this. Mama, we made it. It was weird. I've never had a feeling like this. We're halfway. I was like, it's like I knew I was gonna do it.
What about like that being your first marathon too? You talked about how at CAM, people are giving bottles if you need it and stuff like that. Like, what was your experience with? You didn't have any like stomach issues, or you knew
No,
gels? Were you
I'm a
taking
weird.
gels?
Everyone's different with the marathon, man. Because some people are like practicing fluids every week. Me, man, I don't do. I do long runs like 24 miles, no water, nothing. I think I had like 3 ounces of water and like half a chocolate goo, and I don't recommend that to anyone. Everyone's body's different, man. I think I grabbed the second bottle and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna grab any. Everybody else is grabbing them. They're all passing. I don't need to waste my time grabbing bottles. But I was thankful for those people. I was able to get some sips here. But man, what makes that marathon exciting? I remember it's just like it's a bunch of blue collar runners. So obviously you have your top high athletes. Those will do the 210 to 11. But then there's a bunch of these groups of people where they're just they work 40 hours a week and they're
Yeah.
waking up early like you are, 5 a.m. doing doubles later after work 5:30. Some of them have families, so they got kids to go to. And just knowing that there's a bunch of people like that that understand the grind that you're going through, it just makes it that much more better. Now, most of those, what makes the Olympic trials, at least on the marathon cool, like most other sports, people that are making Olympic trials, they might be professional athletes or something. Most of us, we may have some um little mini contracts or some bonuses. I mean, we're fortunate with the Hoka Aggies, that we have an Hoka behind us, and I've been a Hoka fan since day one. They treat their people good, they treat their athletes right, they're looking out for everyone. But just knowing that you have a bunch of people going for the same goal and they've gone through the same type of journey, it was a beautiful feeling. Talking to them to after people hugging their kids. Some people talking about they've been trying this for years and years and not giving up and being resilient and finally getting that. It just feels like a weight off your shoulder, knowing all the grinds. Because marathon, it's not like a basketball game. You got 2-3 games a week. You get 1 or 2 shots at it. Maybe a year max, and that's if you're healthy. So it's like you're
Yeah.
literally grinding 6 months for one race, and you're putting in excruciating miles. Like some people putting 100, 120, 130. So when everything clicks on that day, man, it's a special feeling, unlike any other.
Yeah, I'm curious then, what was it like after hitting such that high? And so that was 2019 that you did that in CIM, and then what's 2 months you got to build up again for the Olympic trials. How was it kind of like building back up again after such a hard effort?
Yeah, man, it's crazy because you don't have really too much time to celebrate. I think I was like really excited for a week. Um, we went to Pennsylvania for a club cross. I ran it. after only 6 days, my legs were sore still. But after that, I took 1 week off. I was like, I knew I couldn't take 2 weeks off really because feel like I'd have to fully restart. And within only 2 months left, I knew I needed more. I knew I couldn't just take 2 weeks off. So I took straight up 1 week off and then just really started building right back into it. Really, slowly but surely. It was one of those things where you're like, yeah, I'm glad I made it, but I hop back on the grind because, you got to do this all over again in 2 months in the ATL.
What did it mean? Yeah, you went to the championships after that. But I'm also thinking about like for your family, for your brother, your parents, like what did it mean to them to see you like qualify for the trials? Like what was their reaction?
Oh man, it was exciting. A lot of my family, we're not too like crazy. We're not really, so sports isn't really emphasized, especially in the
Yeah.
Indian. There's a Sikh culture. It's really like get your education, get a good job, get married, all this. But seeing someone actually make it, it was really exciting. I had a lot of family in Canada. There, so like the Boyle name was being put out there, and it meant something. See my grandparents proud of me, and even see my parents knowing that all the sacrifices they made just to even come into this country. So people like me and my brothers have a chance at a better life. They sacrifice a lot, so it was, I was always thinking that too. They made all this sacrifice. I want to make them proud. And I think I did, and it was exciting. For them and for me personally. Personally, going through all the triumphs I had to just get to that point was a blessing, man.
And then I'm curious, Warren, because Aaron was talking about before how like in that period of time, like you were the one in the house in Slow that was grinding more than ever, waking up at 5:30 a.m. and just a cycle of a loop going day in, day out. I think that was probably I bet that was kind of normal to you. You feel me? Like you seem like you just
Yeah, no, it's
like
man, like with this marathon thing, man, it's a lot of sacrifice, man. Being a runner, it's like some days you just feel like you try everything's about you, or just even if you want to hang out, you can't, you're tired, you just double, you just want to lay down. Like you'll do a workout sometimes, just eating, you're tired, your body's so tired, you're like, oh, I just want to down a smoothie or something, go to bed, man. I was going to bed at like 8:30. I'm a big believer in sleep and recovery.
mm,
So it's like, man, we're hanging out, and I was like, 8:30. I was like, I gotta hit the bed. And it's like Monday through Friday. Like Friday would come evening, it's like, all right, I can get an extra hour or two sleep, man. Sleeping at 10 was like sleeping at like 2 a.m. That's what it would feel like. But it was a sacrifice. I knew if I wanted to be at that point where I could qualify, I'd have made those sacrifices. It wasn't easy, man. It's a grind. It's a discipline. Motivation comes and go, but discipline, man, it's what's going to get you to where you want in your goals.
But bro, Joshua, you can't imagine the amount of energy this man has in the morning though. Like,
Oh yeah. So
hey,
yeah,
hey, he dancing,
we would run with our buddies. Shout out Brian Gahara, man. He was a good buddy. Still is. He'd come out. He'd drive over and run. But some people are quiet. I try to bring that energy in anything I do. So I'd wake up at 5:30. These guys would know, and I'm just hyped for like, yo, let's get this day started. Let's get this run going. Because living with all these guys like Aaron, man, I loved it. I knew one day it would come to an end. So while I was there, I always wanted to make every moment count, and we still think about those moments to this day because of all that good energy, positive energy we had amongst each other that made it special. And I just try to live my life like, you never know when your last one is, so you might as well leave on happy notes and really appreciate life, do the little things like being able to be fortunate enough to be able to get up at 5:30 and just going out for a run.
Yeah,
I don't take anything for granted, so that's why I try to make every moment count.
Yeah, there definitely was like a great and unique like synergy in that house. There was a lot of like different personalities. Some personalities like clash, but I will say that I do feel like everyone in that house was trying to better themselves in some type of way in their running, in their career, or I don't know, even just like self-improvement. And I feel like it was a positive environment. There's definitely stuff that, we could have been better, better about, but
Of course.
I wouldn't say that the environment was like toxic or anything. And
No.
I felt like we all did definitely look out for each other and care for each other, at least like
Yeah.
somewhere for sure. Because
Oh,
like
for sure.
when you get older and you move in,
Yeah.
places people listening may be living in a house where like yeah, like you're not really friends with who you um live with, or like, you know what I'm saying, we would go out to eat together, like just doing
Yeah.
runs together and stuff like that. Like nah, those were some of the good days, man. Those were the
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the closest thing you could say with being in college while not being in college. But we took it another step because like people that were there, they really at some point, if not running was a part of it. Like yourself, you moved all the way from LA, you Mark,
yeah,
just to pursue running as
yeah,
a blue collar athlete, sacrificing everything you could, and you were working at a shoe store, doing that. And when you're off work, you're getting your shoes on, getting ready to run just to be able to do the best that you can for why you came here in the 1500 and stuff. And that's what made it cool. Like we all made these sacrifices, whether it be short term or long term, for this passion that we had, which was running. And that's what all brought us all together. And I think we've all grown from that as we reflect. It's been what 2, 3 years since we lived in each other. I think a lot of us have made great career moves. Some of us are still training, still running, doing bigger stuff. Like look at you, man. You went from just running warehouse, and now, man, you're like one of the faces of Hoka. So it's and part of those things that you learn, whether it be working at running warehouse or living in that house, man, built you up to who you are today. And that was awesome seeing all of us grow and branch off, and but still be able to come together when we do and remember those special moments that we had.
definitely, definitely well
Man,
said. Couldn't say it any better than that.
that's
Yes,
dope.
sir.
Before we get to how that race really went in Atlanta, I'm curious too, but this may go into the race. When was the moment when you felt like, oh, I'm starting to fall in love with the marathon? Was it kind of like that process and that discipline? Was it living with the guys and the training, or was it the race in Atlanta? When did you start to really like fall in love with the marathon? Or was it not even in
Uh,
2020?
for me, I think it's really the journey. Honestly, if you're just looking at the destination and being at the destination, you're never truly gonna like it and appreciate it. I think it was really going through those tough days when you're like, whether it be when you're doing group workouts, there's before just 4 or 5 guys of you post collegiate. You just came back after work, you had an 8, 9 hour day work, and now you got a PM Wednesday, right smack in the middle, 5:30 p.m. workout. It's cold. It's like 30 degrees. It's foggy, and it's just you and the boys, and you're like, going into it, you're about to run anywhere from 15 to 18 miles, whether it be mile repeats, grass hills, grass loops, turf loops, and it's about to be a grind. But there's nowhere else you'd rather be than with your boys grinding, trying to achieve the same goals. So that's really what made it beautiful and made me fall in love with the marathon, is that you got so much going on, you're tired, but you still got a group of few individuals that really want to just grind and see what you can do. And I think that's what I fell in love about doing something, kind of like college, kind of took it for granted. It was easy. You had classes, not saying classes
Yeah.
are easy, but you have classes, you have a lot more free time. Here, like if you're gonna do this, you really gotta commit, because you got a little time after work. You maybe got 2, 3 hours of your free time, and spending it, wanted to spend it with your boys. Grinding is no other feeling. And I just appreciated that, having that common mindset of wanting to sacrifice for each other to be great. Like I said, people moved from LA up to just slow, wanting to do that. And I found that very, I wanted to be a part of that culture, just commit, and that's really what the journey was, being surrounded by people that just wanted to be great and give it their best, not knowing whether you would ever achieve it or not. It's not like we had contracts and this were our jobs. We did it because we wanted to grind. And you have a certain chip on your shoulder when you're a blue collar, it means a little bit more.
Nah, I feel that, bro. I love hearing that because it reminds me to I wasn't able like to run post collegiately, but it just reminds me just like even just being in high school and being in college and
Yeah,
just working and waking up in those days and just like grinding when no one else is there. You feel me? When no one's watching. Like,
yeah,
where were you when I was shooting in the gym? Like
exactly,
it's
straight
it
up. Where
it's
was
such a
you? Yeah.
beautiful like
Oh man,
moment that you can't like I don't know, you can't get that. It just reminds me that like, bro, like running really is like a superpower to be able to
for
like
sure.
run and discipline yourself. Like it's a straight up like superpower. It's nothing like it. I don't know. There's for the like those endurance sports. There's nothing really. else like it. But I think we could talk about that for a minute. But what was ATL like? What was that experience? First time Olympic trials on that big stage, like that had to be wild, a wild 24 hours.
Oh man, it was great, man. The host at ATL, the ATL track club, man, they did a great job of hosting us, provided awesome meals, great programs throughout the day. Did a great job, man. Shout out to them. But I remember just standing on the line, having the national anthem. It's cold, chilling, just looking around, and be like, man, we're out here, we made it. Like we're about to do this. It was like, it was all those moments. Life's about moments, pretty much. And how you get to those moments is having that discipline and grind to get there. You don't remember every single day what was going on, but you'll remember those moments. Like the 2020 trials, I'll go down knowing that'll always be a memory I'll always remember. But to get to that memory, it took all those months and years of grinding and putting in those work, those Wednesday night afternoons that brought it in. So it was a culmination of positive thoughts generated from hours and hours and hours of putting time into my craft.
Did you have any worries about COVID going into that? Because remember that was like,
man, that we talked about this.
off.
We looking back at it, if that race would have ran maybe 3-4 days later or even a week, it would have never happened. That was literally the last weekend, and then everything was shut down. I remember going in, like, I know we would get worried, like going in, we're like, we don't want to get sick. And then when we started seeing everyone at the airports with like N95s, I was like, what's the N95, man? Well, where are the other 94? You know what I mean?
You talking about the Nintendo 64?
Yeah, because it's not like we were at the hotel. So nobody was really wearing a mask. It was just like, oh, this ain't happening here. This is like, in a different country. And then like, once we got back, I was like, man, what is happening? Everything was crazy.
The world changed.
It was a shock. And who would have thought, looking now, man, what was going to happen of it? I think we all would have put some money in the stock at that time, but man, it was crazy. It was nuts. We were thinking, but like literally, if it was a week later, I don't know what would happen.
That's crazy. That's really wild to think
we
back
had to
to
have
that
virtual
time.
trials and submit your time. Man, yeah,
that would have been terrible.
It was crazy. Yeah.
What was your reaction to your performance though in Atlanta? How'd you feel? Were you satisfied?
I think I was looking at my time. I think I ran into 2:21s. So, I ran 2:17:31 to qualify. I think I ran 2:21. And remember, I don't know if you guys remember, ATL, it was windy, man. When we ran it that day, it was super windy. That course had a lot of potholes too. So you were like, shit, it was cold, it was windy. Huh?
That dude fell from
a lot of people fell, man. It was a challenging course. Like it was a little hilly too, and you turn around, like it was like wind on your back, and right when you turn around, that wind would hit you in the face. So it was a surprisingly very challenging course, and the conditions were not ideal. But I was just like, man, I gotta give it everything I had, and it was tough because you went from just looking at a time, and now you're like, okay, I kind of had some goals, but I was also just like, I'm here, let's just run hard. So just using that, I think I think I came in top 1/3. I think I was 70th overall. So I think there's 255 listed in the race. I think 210 finished, and I was 70th or so. So I was like, I was top 1/3, American. So I was happy with it.
That was a super dope conversation that we had with Swarin, Aaron. For the next 3 or 4 weeks, we'll really see. We'll be talking to Swarin every week, talking about his journey to the Olympic trials. You guys are going to learn more about Swarinjit Boyal and what this dude's really about. Like, Aaron, next week, these dudes are going to be moved. They're going to be motivated about his story of falling in love with running, about how he was trying to get on the Cal Poly slow team. It's about to be, they about to be motivated next week, bro.
No, for the next couple of weeks, bro. Like I said, I'll say it again. Swarin is one of the most positive people that I've ever met. Even like coming out of that conversation, I'm just excited that I know I'm like, I'm proud that I know that guy. You know what I'm saying? That was my roommate. And that'll be my boy forever. And like I said, he's a big reason why I'm here at Hoka. One of my number one like supporters for sure. So I'm happy that we get to just shine a light on this story because it's an incredible story. So keep tuning in these next couple of weeks for that, man. And we're gonna do a little something with them at the Olympic trials to keep everything so y'all could like visually be on track with them too. Me and John will do some stuff too. So exciting. It's just exciting. Full circle moments are always cool.
Yeah, keep on following these blue collar runners, bro. It's nice to hear these stories, these guys and gals that just want it, that just love the sport, that want to make it to these moments, want to make it to these moments, and like they love the journey that takes to get there and be able to relish in that moment once they're there. It's something definitely beautiful, but appreciate y'all listening. Shoot, we're starting off 2024 strong. 2 straight weeks with podcast episodes. We'll be back next week with another. Let's do it, Aaron.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everybody have a good week. Stay blessed. Um, and we'll see y'all next week on the Two Black Tuesday.
Let's get it.